Hello, my name's Jamie. Welcome back to my channel. Hi. If you're still here, I just want to first and foremost commend you on your patience. You're incredible. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Jamie and I am notorious for taking month-long breaks on my channel, and this is my first video in 2 months. Over 2 months. So hi, welcome. Before we get into it, I just want to say I know a bunch of people will be wondering where I am. I have had a few DMs and comments and stuff over the past couple of months, and so I just want to say first and foremost, I do have a vlog coming out where I explain where I've been, why I've been gone, all that sort of stuff. I talk about my absence, so that video will be coming very soon. But in the meantime, hi, I'm here to talk about the books I read in 2021. I also just want to say I'm really sorry, the lighting is going to be all over the place in this video. I am choosing the worst time to film in terms of the sun, but I've never exactly been known for my professionalism, so we're good. But I read 104 books in 2021. That's probably the most I have ever read in an entire year, which is crazy to me. And basically in this video, we're going to go through every single book I read, and I'm just going to give you like the briefest thoughts. I do not want this video to be too long, so let's just get started right away. I'm going to go through every single book I read, give you my rating, and maybe like one sentence. So let's get started. The first book I read in 2021 was Beach Read by Emily Henry. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. Definitely not my favorite book I've ever read. I just found it really boring. I didn't like it, and I can't remember a single thing about it except for the fact that the characters were called January and Augustus. Anyways, moving on. Then I read Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This was an excellent book, definitely one of my favorites from 2021. I think it's such a great book. It has so many great themes. I definitely really recommend this, and this is a really accessible adult novel as well, while still being so enriched with so many conversations, which I find really great. I loved this and I definitely recommend it. And then I read A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. SCHWAB. This is the first book in the series. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. It was actually really disappointing. I was so disappointed by it. I had seen a couple of excerpts from this book prior to reading it. I know it's really popular and I was just really anticipating to love it, and personally I just thought the pace was really fucked. Characters were really half-baked. World building, like, pretty cool idea, just pretty bad execution. So yeah, kind of disappointing. Then I read Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. I really loved this. I read this and talked about it extensively in a reading vlog at the beginning of the year, and I don't know, I just really loved it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. In retrospect, it probably deserves a 5 because I can't think of a single flaw about it. I found it was a perfect time for me to read it in terms of my relation to the main character, and I just love Mary H.K. Choi. I'm literally a slave for her. Like, I would read anything she writes. Even just her writing her grocery list, I will read it and rate it 5 stars most likely. Then I read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I rated this 3 stars, but probably more of a high 2. Probably Riley Sager's first miss for me. I couldn't suspend my disbelief, and in terms of that, I think when it comes to writing, if the writing's good enough, the suspension of disbelief is easy, effortless. I'll believe anything, but I just don't think the writing was good enough in this particular novel, which is disappointing. But you know, every writer needs to have a miss, in my opinion, unless you're Mary H.K. Choi. After Lock Every Door, I read Vampire Academy. This was a reread. This is by Rochelle Mead. This was 4 out of 5 stars. Such an amazing trip down memory lane. I really loved this. Sexy vampires, what else do you need? Still holds up really well for me. Loved it. Then I read Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Such a great novel. More of a collection of vignettes and character studies than like a really plot driven novel, but that's my cup of tea. That's absolutely my cup of tea. Yeah, really love this. A friend is currently reading it. She's also loving it. Bernardine Evaristo, she doesn't miss. Then I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. SCHWAB. Now, V.E. SCHWAB, she may have disappointed me with A Dark Shade of Magic earlier in the year, but she really turned it around here. I loved this. It was 5 out of 5 stars. I cried, and I see the criticisms. I see the criticisms people have for this novel, and I just want to say it was meant to be like that. It was meant to be like that. I loved it. I loved it. I can see why people are criticizing it like that, but I just feel like that, no. I see what you're saying, but no. And yeah, I'm a professional book reviewer, so that's all I'm going to say to that. 5 out of 5 stars, loved it. Then I read Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. Rated this 2 stars. I honestly just think I need to stop reading YA, and I definitely have stopped a lot more recently, mostly because I haven't really read much at all, but I have noticed that I'm definitely not drawn to it anymore. This was really childish and really weird, and I just didn't really enjoy it. Disappointing because it was supposed to be like a fun K-pop moment, and I love that, but yeah, just it wasn't good and just a bit childish for me. I think it was my own fault. Maybe a younger person might enjoy it, but just not me. I'm a 25-year-old woman. Then I read Girl A by Abigail Dean. I got 100 pages through this before I DNF'd. It was so poorly constructed. I could not comprehend anything in it. Wasn't great. Moving on. After that, I read The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert, a fun little adult romance by one of my favorite romance authors. However, this was a 3 out of 5 stars. Such a promising start and such great characters, but I feel like it just started falling apart towards the end, which is why it gets the 3 stars. But the characters are amazing and I love them, but yeah, definitely not the best Talia Hibbert I've ever read. Then I read The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. Oh my goodness, this was 4 out of 5 stars for me. Another tearjerker. I cried a lot during this. This is a really heavy story about sexual assault and a character's journey like the 4 years after it happened. I thought the writing was really good and I thought it was really powerful. I wouldn't say enjoyable given the subject, but still a really great read. So yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Frostbite by Rochelle Mead, the second book in the Vampire Academy series. Really loved this one because it was the introduction of one of my favorite characters in the series, and I don't know, just love this series. So yeah, this was another 4-star read. Then I read I think my only non-fiction in the whole year, and this was Stamped by Jason Reynolds and Ibram X. Kendi. This was 5 out of 5 stars. It was a really accessible, really great non-fiction just about racism, the term racism, being anti-racist. There was so much great stuff to learn in here, so much good learning material, and I'm really glad I read it. I actually read it because I was going to try and do a project where I read all of the Goodreads 2020 winners. I didn't end up doing that, but I'm still so glad that out of the ones that I did read, this was one that I did. I really liked reading this. Very informative. 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar. I read this in a 24-hour readathon. I cried happy tears. It was so brilliant. This was 5 out of 5 stars. I just love queer stories. This was a really fantastic new lens for me to read from as well. As a queer woman, I find myself being drawn mostly to stories about women who love women, bisexual women, all that sort of stuff. But it was so great to see representation for a community that is part of the LGBTQIAP community that I'm not part of. I really loved this. It was really heartwarming. 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. This was the first time I read Heartstopper. Another 5 out of 5 star read for me. Also read it in the same 24-hour readathon and absolutely loved it. And yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. Recommend this to everyone. Such a beautiful story. Then I read The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars, but I still really enjoyed it. I think this was a really great blend of the romance and then also our characters' lives outside of them meeting and falling in love, which is always something that I love. So yeah, it was good, but 3 out of 5 stars because I also had a few issues with it, but I've talked about it in so many videos, so yeah. Then I read Heartstopper Volume 2 by Alice Oseman. Also amazing, just as good as the first one. 5 out of 5 stars. I really don't need to say more. It's great. Then I read The Last True Pulse of the Sea by Julia Drake. I was so excited for this one, but it ended up falling a little bit flat. This was 3 out of 5 stars. I just didn't find the characters in the story to be all that strong. That's kind of all there is to it. And I don't remember anything about it, so there's that as well. And then I read Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. Also excellent. Again, 5 out of 5 stars. Nothing else to say. Then I read Vicious Spirits by Kat Cho. Unfortunately, this was 2 out of 5 stars. I loved the first book in this duology, but then this one was just like, what is actually going on? New main characters. And yeah, they were great as side characters, but I think authors need to realize that sometimes the lovable side characters are lovable because they're side characters, and sometimes they just need to keep it that way. Unfortunately, Kat Cho fell into that trap of making her lovable side characters the main characters, and it just fell really flat for me. Then I read The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. This was 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely would die for this book, and I would die for Fang Runan. I love this. This was the perfect ending to an amazing trilogy. Really loved this. I definitely recommend everyone read the Poppy War series. I have already been going on and on about the Poppy War on this channel before, so yeah, but I love this. Then I read Bully by Penelope Douglas. I rated this 2 stars, but in retrospect I think it deserves more of a 3. I actually think about it more than any other well, not any other Penelope Douglas book, but I actually liked it, I think. I actually think I liked it. I don't know why I rated it 2. I think I was expecting Part 57 vibes, didn't get them, so I rated it a 2, but that was too harsh. But yeah, Bully, it was fine. 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. I read this in a 24-hour readathon as well. This was 4 out of 5 stars. Really great YA contemporary about our main character who has HIV. Really great journey we see her go on. Loved it, but it was 4 out of 5 stars because of all the musical theatre references. Just lowered it down a little bit for me from the 5. Then I read The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nevo. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. I don't really see the hype personally. It's just not really my cup of tea. That's really all there is to it. A lot of people love it. If you want to hear more about it, maybe find out from someone who loves it. I feel like I'm doing it a disservice because I just don't think I was in the right mindset to read it. That's all. Then I read Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead. This is the 3rd book in the Vampire Academy series. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars just because it wasn't as exciting as the first 2, but I would still die for this series. And then I read The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This was a thriller. It was 3 out of 5 stars. Great plot twists. I love fucked up families. Then I read, oh my god, then I read Outrage Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. This was 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely my favourite in the trilogy. I love Eve Brown. I relate to Eve Brown. She is a whirlwind. She is chaos and I love her. And also Jacob, what a sweetheart. 5 out of 5 stars. Great romance. Then I reread Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Still love it. Still believe that Penelope Douglas writes satirical romances. I know a lot of people hate it. That's fine. I don't. 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna. This was the first in a new YA series, YA fantasy series. I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. I just thought it was really messy. So many new characters just with no personality. I didn't think it was that well constructed, unfortunately, because I was looking forward to it. But yeah, this was a miss for me, so 2 out of 5 stars. Then I read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. I rated this 5 out of 5 stars, but we're not gonna talk about it. Then I DNF'd the next 2 books I read. So it was Girl Gone Viral by Alicia Rai. Unfortunately, it just wasn't as good as The Right Swipe, and I just found myself so bored and disconnected, so I DNF'd. And then I DNF'd Air Awakens by Elise Kova. I read a substantial amount of both the books. I read like past 100 pages for both of them, but just I wasn't connecting to any of them, and they were library books and I had to return them, so I just DNF'd and moved on. Then I read Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. This is a YA contemporary. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I think it was good, but not like mind-blowing. I can't really remember much about it, but our main character was bi, and I was like, yes, girly. So yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. Enjoyed my time reading it, but not very memorable. Then I read We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. It's a horror about like a death metal band and like the lead singer selling his soul to Satan, then becoming really famous. Really interesting concept. I was just in a bad mindset when I read it, so it's 3 out of 5 stars, and I can't really remember anything about it because I think I was like fighting with my boyfriend the entire time I was reading it, so what ifs. Then I read Blood Promise by Rochelle Mead, the 4th book in the Vampire Academy series. One of my favorites. This was 4 out of 5 stars. I loved Rose's journey in this book. Honestly, just loved the vampires. And then I read Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This was 4 out of 5 stars. In retrospect, I want to give it a 5. It was definitely one of my favorites of the year, I think. I absolutely loved this book. Like, I don't know what acid trip Sylvia Moreno Garcia was on when she wrote this, but like, I don't want some because it was scary. And also, we don't do drugs. It was scary, and she painted the picture so well, and it was great. Loved it. Then I read Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. It was kind of disappointing given the concept, like Daddy Dilf, like hello. It was kind of boring. Like I wanted him to be a bit more toxic, even though already she's writing this age gap between this girl and her boyfriend's dad. Already like, oh wow, that's crazy. But then it actually ended up being really tame, which is what I didn't want. I wanted the drama. I wanted more drama and scandal, and I didn't get that. So 3 out of 5 stars, but I still have a soft spot in my heart for that book. Then I read The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, my first 1 star in 2021. This was so shocking. Just rich people cheating on each other, like who cares? 1 star. Then I DNF'd The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I just wasn't connected to it at all, and by that stage I had also broken up with my boyfriend and was being manipulated. So I just wasn't in the mindset to read about like cute monsters. Yeah, no, this was a DNF for me. I wasn't in the right headspace. Then I read Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. This was a 2 out of 5 star read for me. Really entertaining. Twists and turns and drama and scandals everywhere, but really problematic, and I can't I can't properly give it a high rating, so 2 out of 5 stars. Then I read Fangs by Sarah Anderson, really cute graphic novel between like love story between a vampire and a werewolf. 5 out of 5 stars, nothing else to say. Read it in 15 minutes and loved it. Then I read Kim Ji-young, Born 1982 by Cho Nam-ju. This was a 4 out of 5 star read. I thought it was an amazing book on feminism. I think everyone should read it, and I went on this big spiel in the reading vlog that I did when I was reading this one, so I think you should just check out this one. I don't have enough time to talk about my thoughts for this book. Like, I can't sum it up in one sentence. But yeah, 4 out of 5 stars, really love it. Then I reread one of my favorite books of all time, The Beach by Alex Garland. On a reread, I had to give it a 4 star. I couldn't give it the 5 star that I gave it when I was a teenager, but really loved revisiting this. Love this book. Love this book, would die for this book. So yeah. 4 stars. Then I read Mooncakes by Suzanne Walker. This is another graphic novel. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I thought the art style and everything was really cute, and the story was a really great concept, but the sense of humor just wasn't really my thing. And I feel like it relied heavily on the sense of humor, which made it so like charming. It just didn't charm me personally. That was a 3 out of 5 star read for me. Sorry, my camera cut off. I hope I'm still looking gorgeous. After Mooncakes, I read The Score by Elle Kennedy. This is I think the 3rd book in the Off-Campus series, and this is my favorite one in the series. Dean De Laurentiis Has My Heart. This is a great book. Really liked it. It was 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Waiting for Spring Volume 1, which is a manga. This was really cute little rom-com, a nice little harem of basketball boys, but it was 3 out of 5 stars for me. It was just really cute and fun. And then I read The Goal by Elle Kennedy, which is the 4th book in the Off-Campus series, and I rated this 2 out of 5 stars. Really weird book, to be honest. Like, I don't know why Elle Kennedy did what she did. If you have read the series, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, the weird time frame of the time period of this book is set. It was just a really bizarre decision. So that was a 2 out of 5 star read for me. Also, I don't like nice boys, and I don't like beards, and that's what our mans had, unfortunately. My camera battery is flashing, and I still have over halfway to go, so I'm gonna take a quick break and I will charge my camera battery, and I'll see you in a second. Lighting might be different. I might be a bit sweatier, but I'll see you soon. Okay, hello lads, we're back in business. Hi. After The Goal, I read Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This was a 2 out of 5 star read for me. Really disappointing. Was really looking forward to this beautiful like sapphic love story, and it just ended up being so bad. 2 stars. Then I read Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. Absolutely loved this, just as good as the rest of them, so again 5 stars. Oh my god. Okay, after that I read 5 books for my reading vlog, where I read like 5 books suggested to me by my audience. The first one was The Girls I've Been by Tess Sharp. This was a 4 out of 5 star read, a really good YA thriller. It was definitely a really mature YA book, which I think is why I liked it. I thought this was a really excellently constructed book, and I really loved this one. Then I read The Great Godin by Meg Rosoff. This was a really nice short book. The plot twist really got me. This was 4 out of 5 stars, and I really recommend this for a summer read. It's scandalous. It is scandalous, and I loved it. Then I read Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. This is probably my least favorite Mary H.K. Choi book, but I still really love this book, and a really amazing story about a dysfunctional relationship between 2 sisters. Found this really relatable to me, even though it wasn't my favorite Mary H.K. Choi book. So this was 4 out of 5 stars, but I still really loved it. Then I read All Girls by Emily Layden, another book which is definitely told in vignettes and in moments and from different character studies. So another 4 star read, and also set in an all-girls boarding school, which we love. And then I read Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. This was 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved this. I love Ishiguro's writing style. I think his books will always be a really strong rating for me. I just genuinely love this. This is probably one of my favorite books of the year as well. After that, I read Tomi by Junji Ito. My first Junji Ito manga. This was incredible. This was 5 out of 5 stars. I definitely love an evil woman, and this just gave me so much of that, which I love. Then I read The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely not what I was expecting, but I love Helen Huang, and I love this beautiful family that she has created this series for. I loved this book. I loved these characters. This was great. Definitely not what I was expecting, which is why it wasn't the 5 stars that I thought it would be, but still a great read. Then I read The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I read this in one sitting, and it was when I was on my airplane back home. This was 4 out of 5 stars. A really beautiful queer story. Also features like the art of drag, which I really love, so that was 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. Loved this because it heavily featured one of my favorite hobbies, which is tarot cards. That was a big theme in this book, which I loved, but it wasn't the most memorable story, and it definitely got a little bit less exciting as the story went on, so this was 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. It was definitely a little uncomfortable for me to read at the time, but I still enjoyed it. I thought the writing was beautiful, and I definitely recommend this. I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember the writing style being really, really gorgeous. So yeah, this was a 4 out of 5 star read for me, but I think in retrospect maybe 3 stars because of how little memory I have of the actual story. Then I read Anna K by Jenny Lee. This was actually also a really good YA novel. This was 4 out of 5 stars. It was a modern retelling of Anna Karenina and so much drama, and I loved it. So yeah, this was 4 out of 5 stars. Read this in a 24-hour readathon. And then I read Rival by Penelope Douglas. My god, I do not know what wacky tobacco Miss Penelope was smoking when she wrote this book, but this was quite something. 1 star. 1 star. Then I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I finally read it and I understood what all the hype was about. This was 4 out of 5 stars. I genuinely loved this a lot and I cannot wait to finally read The Queen of Nothing. But yeah, this was 4 out of 5 stars. Really loved this. And then I DNF'd Jade City at 100 pages. I know this was a really disappointing moment for a lot of the people who watch my videos because they were expecting me to love this. I know a lot of people love this book, but I just couldn't get into it at all. Never say never, I might pick it up again in the future, but I think that will be a future that is very far away from right now. After that, I read The Project by Courtney Summers. I gave this 3 stars, but it was a high 3 stars. I definitely don't think that this deserved the negative reviews that it got. I thought it was a pretty strong novel. Not my favorite that I read this year, but still pretty strong, and I did enjoy my time reading it. So yeah, 3 out of 5 stars. Love a good cult story, and I love evil Catholics. That's a trope that I have loved for so long. So yeah. Then I read Love Scam by Rosie Adams, which is a romance novella. I really loved this. I thought it was great, but I just don't think novellas are the format for me when it comes to romance. I really like a slow burn and I like seeing the relationship be very much built up. So this was a 3 out of 5 star read for me, even though I thought the characters and the actual story was great. I just wanted to see more. I wish it had been a full-length novel. And then I read Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashadoust. This was a 3 star read for me. It was a pretty good YA fantasy. I really enjoyed my time reading it, but again, I just don't remember a lot about it, and I think that kind of explains why I gave it the 3 star rating. It was good, just not like super memorable. Then I read The Astonishing Colour of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This was also in a 24-hour readathon. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it had some really, really beautiful writing and definitely a really powerful and emotional novel. I wish I was more emotionally connected to it though, so I could fully enjoy it, and I wish I cried. Okay. And then I read Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. 5 out of 5 stars. Like, this novel. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it and I'm almost in pain about the fact that the book is not in my hands right now with me reading it for the first time. This was amazing. It's such a short little book, but such a beautiful story. Has so many really great themes. Oh, this was a beautiful book. This was a beautiful book. I really love it. So many beautiful quotes, and I think this is a book that I'm probably gonna pick up like once a year because it's such a short read, but so good. Then I read The Chase by Elle Kennedy. That was a 2-star read for me. This is the first book in the Briar U series. I don't know, I think the girl power, girl boss feminism, bit much for me. So yeah, 2 stars. Sorry, Queen. Then I read The Dead Queens Club by Hannah Capin. Probably one of the most disappointing books that I read this year. This was another 2-star read. Hannah Capin's Foul is Fair is one of my favorite books of all time. I really love it. But The Dead Queens Club is so weird and messy, and I really didn't like it, and it's just not strong at all. It was weird. It just focused so much on like, how can we have the most witty banter on this page but no substance? Hannah babes, what are you doing? Like, sorry, 2 stars. Then I read Guarding Temptation by Talia Hibbert. This is another 3-star read. I think it's just the fact that it's a novella. Talia Hibbert, like, always good, but it's just a novella, so I couldn't emotionally connect to it as much as I would have wanted to. But yeah, 3 stars. Then I read The Female of the Species by Mindy McGuinness. 5 out of 5 stars. You know my reaction to this. If you have watched all my videos, you know my reaction to this. I died. I love this book so much. I will be rereading this very soon. I love it. 5 out of 5 stars. Everyone stop what you're doing and pick up this book right now. Amazing. Then I read All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. This was a 4-star read for me. Love Mariana Zapata, never misses. Then I read They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This was 2 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really weak. I did not like it at all. And then I read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. 1 star. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And then I read Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. This was 2 stars. I don't know what was going on the entire time, and neither did our main character. There was just no synergy with me in this book. I just didn't love it. No thank you. And then I read From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, a adult fantasy romance. This was 3 out of 5 stars. Kind of boring, but picked up towards the end. Yeah, 3 stars. And then I read Death in Her Hands by Ottessa Moshfegh. This is 3 out of 5 stars. I really didn't like it at the beginning, and then I really ended up enjoying it. This is a really great, like, unreliable narrator mystery novel, I think. I like this. I thought this was really good. This was quite strong towards the end, but the beginning was weird. But yeah, I quite liked it. Oh, and then I read The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Holton. Would die for this book, would die for Cecilia and Ned. I loved this. This was 5 out of 5 stars. A really amazing historical fiction, romantic comedy, emphasis on the comedy. I had a smile on my face the entire time. This is a really, really good book. And then I read The Legacy by Elle Kennedy, which is the 5th and final book in the Off-Campus series, which was kind of just like a short story collection of the couples from the Off-Campus series and Where Are They Now. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. It was really fun to read at the time. Nothing to write home about, but like just I had a good time reading it. And then I read Last One to Die by Cynthia Murphy. This was a mess from start to finish. This was 1 star. YA thriller. I just don't think YA thrillers are ever gonna be for me. This was just a bit dumb. I talked a lot about it in my I read 7 books in 7 days video. Yeah, this wasn't great. And then I read Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien 2 by Johnny Sun. This was a graphic novel. I read this 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really sweet, but it didn't really teach me any new mindsets. But I thought it was a really cute book, and it was a nice way to spend half an hour. And then I read The Wicked King by Holly Black. This was 4 out of 5 stars as well. I absolutely love this. I love Jude. I love Carden. I love their like character journeys. This was a great book. 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. This was 3 out of 5 stars. I don't remember a single thing that happens in it. Full disclosure, I don't remember a single thing, but 3 out of 5 stars to this book from me back in like September. Then I read Lucifer's Bride by Roxy Ray and Sky Wilson. 1 star. 1 star. I usually love everything to do with Satan in literature. Not in this case, unfortunately. Then I DNF'd Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi at 150 pages, I think. This was supposed to be a really promising enemies to lovers YA lesbian romance, and it just didn't deliver. The characters were insufferable. I just didn't like this. And then I read Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. I think it's how you, I never know how to pronounce her last name. This was 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a really strong book. I love Leanne, but again, it's probably something that I'm gonna forget about like literally in a month. So yeah, it was fun at the time, but yeah, Apples Never Fall. And then I read The Maidens by Alex McCallides. This was a really strong thriller. I really liked this. This was, I think, 4 out of 5 stars for me. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. There's really nothing else to say. It was just fun. Was it expertly crafted? Not really, but like I had a really good time reading it. And then I read Hideaway by Penelope Douglas. If Miss Penelope was smoking wacky tobacco when she wrote Rival, I do not want to know what she was on when she wrote Hideaway. This was 1 star. I don't know what it is with the incest in this novel. I did not like this. This was weird. This was bizarre. No thank you. Then I read The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. Just like a pretty standard high fantasy. I didn't love it. It was kind of boring. Yeah, 2 stars. It was a bit of a slog to get through, to be honest. Then I read Verity by Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover really surprised me with this one. I ended up rating it 4 stars. I think Colleen Hoover just does better at the thriller genre. I haven't read enough of Colleen's books, and I'm not sure if I will read much more of Colleen's books to really find like a romantic book by her that I really enjoy. But Verity was really strong, and I will definitely be picking up Colleen Hoover's other thriller novel. I actually thought this was really good, and I liked it. Yeah, she's good at writing thrillers, I'm not gonna lie. And then I read Darling by Kate Ankrum. This was a really anticipated novel for me. It's a Peter Pan retelling, but unfortunately for me it was just 2 stars. I just thought it was a bit messy and just not for me. Then I read Brown Boy Nowhere by Cheryl Lim. This was a debut novel. It was YA. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. Again, I just think it's a bit young for me, but I did enjoy it at the time. I think this is definitely a good YA book. Yeah, I would recommend this to a younger audience for sure. Then I read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I read this 4 out of 5 stars. I love a haunted house story, so I really liked this. And Riley Sager for me has only missed once with Lock Every Door, but this was really strong. I really liked this. And then I read The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I rated it 5 stars at the time. I think I was just swept up in the hype. In retrospect now, it's more of a low 4 or a high 3. I just think Aaron Blackford is too unrealistic for me. I just didn't love it all that much. And then I read Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, 5 stars. Sally never misses. This was amazing. Then I read The Risk by Elle Kennedy, the second book in the Briar You series. This was 3 stars. It was fun. It was definitely better than The Chase, but nothing like The Score or The Deal, so it wasn't super high up on my list. Then I read Dark and Shallow Lies by Jenny Myers Sane. This was 2 out of 5 stars. It was supposed to be like a small town horror, lots of witchcraft, but unfortunately just not for me. 2 out of 5 stars. Then I read My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. This is the book for me. This is the book. This was 5 out of 5 stars. My camera battery is flashing again. I think they just like hate me for some reason, but I will be talking about this because I will have a video coming out about my top books for 2021 where I'll go into things in more depth. This was 5 out of 5 stars. This is amazing. Couple goals. Don't know if I should be saying that, but what can I say? I love Toxicity. Love this book. Then I read Spirit Bound by Rochelle Mead. I can't actually remember what happened in this book, but I liked it, so 4 out of 5 stars. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. So yeah, Spirit Bound, Rochelle Mead. Then I DNF'd this random book called Blueprints of the Afterlife at 50 pages. I can't even tell you what this is about. It was supposed to be like a literary fiction dystopian, but I didn't even really properly start it. Then I read Not Here to Be Liked by Michelle Quach. This was 2 out of 5 stars. Again, it's just because it's YA, I think. I get the concept, like academic rivals to lovers, like love that. And it was another debut novel, which is why I checked it out. But again, I'm just staying away from YA this year because I just found that YA has not been for me. Then I read Every Last Secret by A.R. Tor, which is a thriller. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars, but I thought it was pretty fun. Just more rich people doing crazy fucked up shit. And I had a good time reading it, so love it. And then I read The Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. This was probably the worst book in the Vampire Academy series. Really boring. The most boring, chaotic road trip novel I've ever read, and just not fun at all. So that was 2 out of 5 stars, which is disappointing, but the rest of the series is so good that I still have a really large place in my heart for the Vampire Academy series. And then finally, the last book that I read in 2021 was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I was not expecting to love this as much as I did, but it was 5 out of 5 stars. I thought the characters were great. I had such a good time reading this, and I cannot wait to read more of Ali Hazelwood's books. So those are all the books that I read in 2021. I'm just going to speed up this conclusion because, like I said, my camera battery is flashing. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said earlier in the video, I will be doing some other end of year or beginning of year style videos. Like, I'm going to be doing my best books of 2021. I'm going to be doing my worst books of 2021. So you will hear more about some of these books in this video, but in way greater detail in those videos. So thank you so much again for watching this video. I hope to see you soon. This is kind of my official return to YouTube, so it's kind of scary, but hi. Yeah, again, thank you so much for watching this video. All my socials are down below. I am on Twitch nearly every single day, so make sure to come check me out on there and say hello. It's a really lovely community. Yeah, so that's it for the video. I love you all so much. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you very soon in my next one.